another edition of Sports Den. My name is Ted LaRue, taking you through this one on this week on featuring all of the sports teams here in the fall season surrounding our Cougars, our Bengals, and our Panthers. We've got some big-time games to go through on the gridiron. We're going to be talking some very competitive matchups. Centennial at a competitive matchup, Blaine at a competitive matchup, and then we've got the battle for the block. We're going to be talking about Spring Lake Park and Irondale. We've got highlights of that. Some tight volleyball matchups, including Blaine and Centennial High School as well. And we've got hot off the presses, we've got soccer brackets as well. Let's start with some football. Anoka coming in ranked 7th in the state with a 3-2 record. Centennial also 3-2. Didn't take long for the Tornadoes to strike through the air. Just 28 seconds in, Peyton Padani finds Afi Avekwe and welcoming the Cougars to the winter early, putting 4 red shirts on skates, using the burners to melt the ice on the way to the end zone. 60 yards to the house. Anoka up in front early. 6th touchdown of the year for Avekwe, 10th for Padani through the air at quarterback. Under 4 minutes left in the first now, trying to get similar results. The screen goes off the hands of Avekwe, and it's intercepted by Marshawn Carlvin. His second interception of the year, right place, right time, looking to give the red and black a little bit of a boost. Second quarter, Isaac Belinsky-Strauss doesn't capitalize. Instead, he throws an INT of his own. Cooper Becky steps into the passing lane, takes it away, rolling out and throwing back to the middle of the field. Bold strategy, didn't work out, Cotton. Late second quarter, Padani looking to extend the Anoka lead. This will help rearing back and finding his leading receiver, Trey Borchers, for the big gain, getting over the top of the defense to set the maroon and white up with a good chance to take a 2-score advantage. Always good to find your buddy in the secondary. But the Cougars defense comes up big once again. Another bold strategy, this time a fadeaway throw from Padani. Tip ball interception from Riley Johnson. He pays the price at the end, but hey man, it was all worth it. Cougars defense keeping them in this one, trailing 7-0 at halftime. I think a big lick there. Centennial offense gets the run game going early in the second half. Leading rusher Caleb Melzer finds a huge seam, 32 yards. It sets up a 1st and goal for the Cougars. How about this blocking? Great blocking, great vision. That was exactly the spark that this Cougar offense needed at this point in the game. Now, the Cougars have a 4th and goal. They're trying to plunge it in. A mass of bodies at the goal line, and it's Anoka that gets the push to stack up Centennial, and they keep the goose egg on the board. Just over 6 minutes left in the fourth. Ryan Welch plunges it in for Anoka. 30 carries, 140 and a touch in this one. Another fantastic day for Welch. Just another day at the office for him. He's been great, and he's been an integral part to the Tornado attack so far in this 2024 season. Ensuing drive, Centennial trying to get something on the board to try to cut into the lead. Belinsky-Strauss finds Carlvin making plays on offense this time on the middle screen. Perfect execution, gets really good blocking downfield in front of him. Takes it down to the 20-yard line to set the Cougars up with a chance to slice the Anoka advantage in half. It comes down to another 4th down. Looking to the end zone for an opening, but Wyatt Rothram shuts the door to keep Centennial off the board once again, and the Cougars wouldn't get another shot. The Tornadoes hold on for a 14-0 win to improve to 4-2.
You had a big interception in that second quarter, second of the season. Kind of touch on that play a little bit.
Well, I read pass. My first steps weren't that great, but then I just adjusted better, and I saw they had a guy come over, so I just read it pretty well. The quarterback, I don't think he saw me, so I just ran up and I picked it off. I thought I played it well, and I thought my coaches are going to be happy with that play.
Yep, you guys held Centennial scoreless. Kind of touch on the defense's performance here tonight.
Yeah, we just have a bunch of dogs on defense. We have Michael Chamberlain, we have Max Berglund, we have Zach Welch, we have Aaron Knapp. I could go name the whole team. We have a defensive back unit. No touchdowns, barely any receptions. We have Austin Meyer, Wyatt Rotham, Kamari Hibbler, Dre Ellis, Devin Lucas. They're just a bunch of dogs, and, you know, if we do our thing and we show up to play, we're going to hold a lot of teams scoreless. I don't think we've shown up every single game this season. That's why we've seen a lot of scores.
Okay, I see you listing off some names.
Yeah.
Were you guys expecting this performance here tonight? You know, a Revengeville game, you guys lost last year at your crib, now taking a dub at theirs.
Yeah, I just think that, you know, when we show up to play as a team and everyone does their job, there's not a team we can't beat. And I don't know if every game this season we brought our best, but I know if we bring our best, there's no team that we're scared to play.
Despite losing big last week to Maple Grove, Blaine was ranked 8th in the state coming into Friday night showdown on the road at Champlin Park. You know, there's no better time to start strong than the opening kickoff. Caden Lewagi finds a seam and uses his speed to set up the Blaine offense with great field position in plus territory to start the game. Getting things going early, making life easy. Just over a minute later, Bengals finish. 1 yard out. Zach Larson punches it in. Easy money to put the Baby Blues up 6-0 early in this one. Under 5 minutes left in the opening frame, CP cuts the lead in half. 33-yard field goal from Evan Swanstrom, and the Rebels cut the Blaine lead to 3. Bengals punting on the ensuing drive, or are they? It's a fake! Derek Sloman channeling his inner Brian Buschini from this weekend. Hits Caden Clark wide open, 36 yards to keep the Bengal drive moving. Now in enemy territory. Gutsy call there from Mike Law and company on the Blaine sideline. The risk, it pays off with points. 29-yard field goal here from Jared Killian to extend the Bengal lead to 6. Second quarter now, Blaine on the move. Moise Polishier showcasing the moves, beautiful cutback, some nifty legs to go with it. Finds his way into the end zone to extend the Big Cat lead to 16-3 after a 15-yard scamper. But the Rebels of Champlin Park, the Rebels are rebellious by nature and won't go down without a fight. Preston Nelson finds the seam and using what his mama gave him, winning the race down the sideline to get this game back to a one-score game. 66 yards to the Rebel outpost for those beautiful blue jerseys and those beautiful silver helmets. 16-10 at this point. But Blaine would answer. Zach Larson, his second touchdown of the night, this time from 6 yards out. His second 2-touchdown game of the year. His 5th touchdown of the season puts the Bengals on top, 23-10. 28 seconds left till half. Champlin Park punted the snap just a bit high over the head of Levi Audette. He covers it up at the back of his own end zone, but a Rebel miscue gives Blaine a lot of momentum going into halftime with a 25-10 lead. Special teams gotta be special to win some of these football games on Friday night. Second half, Sam Shaughnessy looking to move the ball through the air. It doesn't go well. Pass intercepted by Muhammad Jallo, and he can accomplish anything with a little help from his friends. The senior linebacker, 35 yards to the barn. Shaughnessy didn't see him sitting in zone coverage there. Jallo makes Slingin' Sammy pay. 25-17. Champlin Park hanging around. Fourth quarter, Killian hits another big kick, this time from 31 yards out to put the lead back to 2 scores, 28-17. Special teams, Blaine were great in this game. Under 5 to go, Rebels still fighting. Preston Stilkey dumps it off to Austin Tucker on the screen, and he weaves his way through the heart and the soul of the Blaine defense. 36-yard touchdown. He cuts it to 28-23, but the Rebels wouldn't get any closer. Blaine gets a big 5-point win at Champlin Park on Friday night. It is battle for the block time. Spring Lake Park taking on Irondale. Get the ball into the hands of Lamari Brown. Good things happen. Brown takes it on the reverse. Great cutback. Bring him all the way back to one side, then to the other side to put SLP in the lead early. 28 yards to the house. From right, back to the left, now back to the right for the score, and the Panthers strike first, 7-0. Knights punting late in the first. When special teams are special, John Stewart smiles. Jason Eagle flying through the protection to get his paw on the pigskin for the punt block. Just a few plays later, E.J. Monlu punches it in for the touchdown to give the Panthers an early 14-0 lead in the opening frame in Irondale. Still in the first quarter, offense, special teams, now defense. Sawyer Thompson sees this one coming from a country mile away, jumps the route for the INT, takes it 27 yards back to the castle, Panthers rolling in all three phases of the game, leading 21-0 at the halftime break. Death, taxes, goal-to-go touchdown for the Panthers. Monlu punches it in for the second time on the night. SLP goes up by 4 scores. But the Knights looking to respond and keep fighting. Jump ball in the direction of Thompson this time, but Irondale comes down with the football. No luck getting points on this drive. It stalls out. SLP comes up with the stop. Later on in the third, more defense from SLP. Another jump ball, this time in the direction of Colin Welch, wearing white, and he comes down with it for the INT to halt yet another Irondale big play potential down the field. Always good when turnovers lead to points. That's exactly what happens here. Nolan Roach going up and over the top, 35-0 in favor of the blue and white. Irondale would move the ball and score late, but this one belonged to Spring Lake Park from the jump. The Panthers bring home the block and get to an even 3-3 record, 35-7 the final score in the win over the Irondale Knights. So now that we saw the action from last Friday night, just a couple of weeks to go in the season, where do teams stand? This is where they stand right now. On the 6A side, in the Metro North Subdistrict right now, you got Blaine and Centennial teetering maybe on the edge of hosting a home playoff game. We're going to get to talk a little bit more about that when we hit schedules a little bit later on, but a 4-2 and a 3-3 record respectively. If they both can string together some victories towards the end of the season, we might be having some 6A home playoff games here in the North Metro. You look on the 5A side, you look at the where SLP is standing right there, and remember, this sub-district is also their section, right? So there are some big games coming on down the stretch. Monticello, Rogers, and SLP right now, they are jockeying for position. So SLP lost to Rogers earlier in the season. They beat Park Center, so that gives them a pretty good cushion over the Pirates, who are also 3-3 right now. Let's take a look at what these teams have coming up. We got a huge 5A game. Spring Lake Park, Monticello. That one is going to be on North Metro TV. Very excited for that one on Thursday night kickoff at 7 o'clock. And then a great opportunity for Blaine and Centennial to finish strong. You saw Blaine, you just saw it, a 5-point win over Champlain Park. Can Centennial kind of piggyback off of what the Bengals did? They play Champlain Park this Thursday night, and then that game against Rosemount. There have been some great games over the last few years between the Cougars and the Irish. Blaine wrapping up against the Shakopee Sabres. From football to more section push. We are pushing to the section playoffs on the volleyball court as well. And there were a pair of some pretty good matchups, 2 featuring Blaine, 1 featuring Centennial. We're going to be talking about Blaine and Coon Rapids first. Blaine coming off losing 2 of 3. This was Tuesday night at Coon Rapids. Cards and Cats tied in the first set at 8. Bryn Keller with some picture-perfect accuracy in the back corner put Blaine's ahead in the opening set. Bengals on a run, now 17-9. Lydia Foster showing some great touch, keeping them fighting this one. It breaks up the Bengal run. Blaine now with a 9-point lead. How about this dig? A great dig here from Chloe Keller. Sets up an easy hit it where they ain't from Avery DeSoto Weston to set up the set point. Keller of the Chloe variety in the perfect position to smack it back the other way to give the Bengals the first set win, 25-14. Second set, Bengals out to an 8-3 advantage. DeSoto Weston taps it over the top of the Cardinal wall at the net to give Blaine a 6-point lead in set number 2. 9-point cushion for the Bengals. Foster once again doing her best to get the Cardinals back in it. Cuts the red and black deficit to 8. She was doing a good job keeping Coon Rapids around. Set point for Blaine. Keller is the ace in the hole for Blaine, and the Bengals take a 2-0 set lead. They're looking for the sweep, 25-13 here in set 2. Cardinals got out to an early lead in the third frame, but the Chloe Keller experience continues, getting just enough of the points to cut it to a 4-point game. Bengals rally, take an 18-16 lead on an ace. It gives them a 3-point lead. Match point for Blaine. Bryn Keller finds the opening for the kill. The Keller and Keller show on display as the Bengals roll to a sweep of Coon Rapids on Tuesday night. Blaine looking to keep the momentum rolling into Thursday night's Cat Clash, hosting the Cougars of Centennial. Blaine out to a 5-4 lead in set one. Emma Peterson hammers it home for the Red Shirts to tie it up at 5. Cougars scored the next 3 points to take an 8-5 lead. Addison Kemper takes advantage of a scrambling Bengal squad to give the Cougs a 4-point lead. Centennial up 9 out of a Blaine timeout. Hannah Jakubek rising above for the kill to try to spark a late rally in this set. Still set point for the visitors. Kaylee Whistler of Blaine aims outside the lines, and the first set goes the way of the Centennial Cougars in this here border battle. Bengals leading 8-7 in the second set. Kemper skying high and hammers home the kill to tie this one up at 8. Cougars +2 now. Ella Breitbart counters the Kemper power. A little finesse. Hey, 1 point, no matter how you do it, whether you hammer it, whether you touch it, it's all the same. 1 point Cougar lead. Second set point. Emma Peterson has some great placement on the serve to notch the ace, and the Cougars out to the 2-0 set lead. Hey, look, they're looking to sweep this one, get out of here early. Third set, Cougars out in front. Jakubek talking softly, but swinging her big left arm for the kill. Cut the Centennial lead to 3. Just a 1 point Centennial lead. Blaine hanging around. We have our first Elena Hakey sighting. An absolute rocket. Cougs +2. Set point here for the Bengals. Great job at the net to turn back the Centennial attempt to put this one away. Blaine takes set 3. Fourth set, Centennial up 1. The Hakey hammer is real. Just put the point on the board when her arm is in motion. Tough to deal with. Now a 5-point Centennial lead. Blaine fighting hard to try to send this one to a 5th set. Breitbart playing well at the net all night long. She's keeping Blaine into this one for sure. Cougars up by 2, looking to put the match away. The Kemper and Hakey combo, man, it can be deadly. Kemper this time gets us to match point, and the Cougars finish the job in this one. They take Thursday night's Cat Clash 3-1 to climb over to a 500 record at 9-8.
So tell me what you're thinking when you're thinking, yeah, I got to change the flow a little bit. Do I go hard here? Do I go soft here? You know, what's kind of the idea behind all that?
Yeah, in my head, it's almost like a game that I'm playing with the passers, so kind of trying to get them deep and then move them up short. Our assistant coach also does a really good job calling seams and deep and short and where holes are on the court, so I think that really helps find the open spots.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a lot of IQ, changing it up a lot. And so, Peterson, now, kind of a surprise attack out of you. You know, I didn't expect the heat that you brought when you hit. And so when you're up there, you thinking kill, or are you thinking like, you know, I just get it and that's what I'm going to go with?
I was really just trying to be accurate tonight and make sure that the ball was in, and our coach was just wanting us to be more accurate and get a higher IQ on the play. So we really just need to put the ball in for Blaine and then make them error.
So let's take a look at what these teams got coming up. We talk about, when we introed this segment, we talk about the push towards section play right now, and Blaine and Centennial have been playing pretty well as of late. Blaine has won 5 of 6. Centennial has won 3 of 4, and if you look at what Blaine has done lately, you know, since that tournament, that loss to Washburn and that first win against Minnehaha Academy, right? They swept Rochester Mayo, they swept Totino Grays, they swept Coon Rapids. Only that one set that was taken against Anoka before this last loss against a good Centennial team. When you look at the Cougars, you know, this is a team that is back on the winning track after that 3-1 loss to Champlain Park. Spring Lake Park, you know, maybe not so much, you know. They certainly need to get some things together before we get into section play. Now it is time to get into the first of section bracket time. We start first with the 5-3-8 girls soccer bracket. This is hot off the presses right now. So Spring Lake Park draws the number 2 seed. Out of all of the teams in our area, the Spring Lake Park girls may be the best team that we're going to be covering here during the postseason. They match up with the number 7 seed Irondale in the quarterfinals on Tuesday night at SLP. That's set for a 7 p.m. kickoff. They are undefeated, 11-0-4 entering sections. Now, they're ranked number 6 in the state ranking from the Star Tribune. Right, that is actually ranked higher than the number 1 seed in this section in Maple Grove. Of course, state rankings don't really play into where things are seated at the section level, but just something to keep in mind over there. So, some games that Spring Lake Park has played against their section competition. On October 5th, very recently, a 1-0 win against Mounds View. So Mounds View was able to play pretty good with them. That is a possible semifinal matchup. We look at Roseville. Also, they're the number 6 seed. On August 22nd, a 7-0 win for SLP over Roseville. And then you got to go back to that September 3rd matchup. A 1-1 tie with Maple Grove. If Spring Lake Park can get by Mounds View and possibly set up a section championship rematch, or just a section championship game, a rematch from the regular season with Maple Grove, that could be a very, very fun contest. Let's go to the next set. We're staying in 5-3A, now to boys soccer. Spring Lake Park, they draw the number 7 seed. They will visit number 2 Osseo on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. at Osseo High School. They've been outscored 20-5 in their last 3 games, and they need to buckle down on defense to be able to possibly pull this upset. They lost at Osseo on September 17th, 3-1. Let's head to Section 7 3A. First with the girls. Blaine draws the number 4 seed. They will host number 5 Anoka in the quarterfinals on Tuesday night. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff. There will be a doubleheader at Bengal Stadium. Now, they beat Anoka 3-0 over on September 5th. Then Saturday's win over Forest Lake for Blaine was their first win since September 17th at Coon Rapids. They went 1-7-2 during a 10-game stretch before beating Forest Lake. And it's been a little bit of feast or famine for Blaine. They've got shut out or shut somebody else out in 10 of their 15 games this season. The Centennial Cougars, they have owned this section. They draw the number 2 seed. They match up against the number 7 seed, Cambridge Isanti, in the quarterfinals on Tuesday night at Centennial. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff. Centennial has won 5 of their last 7 games down the stretch. They lost to Edina in the regular season finale. They won 4 straight section titles before losing to Andover last season. They are looking to get the crown back and head back to US Bank Stadium and the state tournament. Finishing things off with the Section 7 3A boys soccer bracket. Blaine draws the number 1 seed, the only team of our area schools that gets a number 1 seed. They will face the number 8 seed Cambridge Isanti in the quarterfinals. That is a 5 p.m. kickoff. So on Tuesday night, we got Blaine, Cambridge Isanti at 5. And then we've got Blaine and Anoka girls at 7 p.m. The 8-5-3 record for the Blaine boys. They finished the season 2-3-1 in their last 6. Cambridge Isanti sitting there at 6-8-2. So the disparity between number 1 and number 8 is very tight in this section as well. Centennial draws the number 5 seed. They will go on the road to face number 4 Anoka in the quarterfinals on Tuesday night. That is a 5 p.m. kickoff at Anoka High School. So a doubleheader for the Tornadoes over there. 4-7-4 record for the Cougars since their loss to Blaine. They lost to Blaine 4-2 on September 24th. They finished 2-1-1 in the regular season. So it is soccer playoff time. We are going to have coverage, all kinds of coverage next week here on Sports Den. We're looking forward to that Thursday night football matchup where we've got Spring Lake Park and Monticello for some major section implications. We're going to wrap it all up next Monday night. Matt Dean will join you here on Sports Den next Monday night. So until then, I'm Ted LaRue. We will see you in the next edition of Sports Den.